Okay, so last we left off, Greymore, of all people, had a little bit of a meltdown, unsure as to what exactly happened. We did see that Greymore's eyes, and you guys were having a serious conversation, trying to figure out what's going on with Sylvie's family, what's the proper protocol, I guess, and do you help Sylvie? Do you protect the realm, so to speak, Game of Thrones style? Um, and on top of that, you've got this peace talks and Rexxentrum coming up within 7 days. So there's a lot of things going on at the table, but what you didn't notice during the moment was that Greymore's eyes were blue. And he's only ever seen this happen to himself once, and it was when he was resurrected from the grave quite a bit of time ago. And, or I should say, a few weeks ago. He was killed quite a bit of time ago, as we found out. And as soon as the meeting broke and everyone went their separate ways, you had Jerome. Was it just Jerome? I think it was Jerome and
I'm sorry.
Fiernan. Jerome and Fiernan came and took away some of our C1 and C2 party members to show what was going on somewhere else around the manor itself. So as they took the C1 and C2 characters that way, Jace went upstairs to try to figure out, make some contacts with other folks around the world to figure out what do we do about Rexxentrum and all the rest of it. And Greymore went crazy. Took down, I think, 2 or 3 of you. And was eventually stopped. And as he comes back to, or as he came back to, he no longer had those blue, the blue haze over his eyes. And actually, really, last we left off, you guys all went your own ways within the manor, kind of separated off. And we'll pick up there. We've got 7 days, really, 6 days, I should say, of what do you guys want to do? What do you need to do to get accomplished? Do you address the Greymore issue? Do you aggress and kind of revisit the Sylvie and Phoebe's family issue? What is your guys' plan of attack here on day 1?
Minute 0 after like the whole fact, before like everyone splits off, does Greymore recall fighting his friends? Like, could he see through the blue eyes, or was it just like, was all of his personality stuck in his head and it was something completely different?
Greymore, I'd like you to roll me a new personality right now, unless you already did that.
Oh my god. I don't want to do it again.
It's a D6, right?
For this, it'll be a D4.
Okay, back to the D4.
Yep.
Could you imagine if I got a 6 again?
I can't imagine, and I don't want to.
Okay.
So this personality comes back not knowing what happened to all of you, like almost like walking in on the scene with Donald Glover holding the pizza.
Yeah.
And so you're walking in on that. What you do remember is that you and your other personalities were in that room fighting the blue-eyed Greymore in that room. And then you came to. So that's what you remember.
Do we notice a change in? I mean, we saw Greymore come back.
Yeah,
with his black eyes, so we know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he went down and then came back, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He was not
Self-stabilized.
unconscious.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to say Jace gave him a healing potion because Sylvie tried to steal some and did not succeed.
Yeah, and Jace is still in the room with you all until we move past this Greymore moment.
As everyone's walking away, you just hear Greymore go, "Hey guys, where's everyone going? What happened?" And he's just like naming a bunch of different questions. "Where are you going, Sylvie? Phoebe, wait, come back!"
And like Phoebe is like hanging off of Sylvie, like, and I'm assuming that like walking to our room, like maybe not getting at, but just like getting helped up the stairs.
Sylvie would definitely like look back to Greymore and just kind of be like, we're all okay. We'll fill you in here in just a minute. Let me get Phoebe upstairs." And just like take her sister upstairs.
Because no offense to Greymore, like Phoebe is trying to get away from him at this point in time and trying to like put distance.
Understandable.
Very
Just in
understandable.
Yeah.
Does anyone stay in the kitchen with, or in the dining area with Greymore at this moment?
Is it,
I'd like. I'm gonna go with Raj.
Yeah, Raj would probably need help going to bed. If I assume is it that kind of time of day?
I think
No,
it's early.
it's early.
Like
It's early,
but you got your butt rocked, so
It's like
I was
Doing
bisexual.
that breakfast.
Oh.
it's like 9 or 10 at this point.
It was
Got it.
morning.
God damn.
Morning delight.
Hmm.
Talk. I think I need some fresh air.
Yeah, I would. I'm gonna kind of be his skeleton or rigid body for him to kind of cling to and carry him upstairs to fresh air, I suppose.
So then it would be up to Roomberg. Roomberg, are you staying in the dining area, or are you going upstairs or somewhere else?
I remember there was some stuff going on outside.
Mhm.
Do I maybe want to walk out the front door and see what's going on? I think that sounds like a plan.
All right. There's no front door anymore, but you do walk.
Yeah, you know what I mean. The
Yeah,
front door area.
Front hole.
Yeah, the front hole. You walk out of it. Give me a perception check.
Great. Let's do that. 13.
Okay, 13. You hear this grinding noise off in the distance.
Okay.
You know the direction, but you can't see it necessarily from here.
Okay.
Do you want to head toward it?
No, I'd like to see with my, what was it, 13, what else I see in the area.
Well, you see a shooting star. No, I'm kidding. So,
Yeah, great. I follow that.
so what you see is still just bodies and bodies and bodies, some of which are have no head attached to them. But with the 13, if you stand out there for long enough, you see, like, on the boardwalk of this swampy entrance, you see Delphi at the very end, and the grinding is actually her as she's like sawing off some heads and putting them back onto her waistband.
Great. Is my armor still hungry, or did we satiate my armor right now?
We'll say that your armor is hungry if you want to,
Great.
just
I-
go crazy.
I mean, it ate a bunch last night, but I guess I'll let it eat some more now. That's fine.
Okay. What does that look like?
I imagine it's sort of like the what's his name, Deadpool, or not Deadpool, the Venom movie where like it comes off his shoulder and is talking to the lady. Like I imagine like it comes off my shoulder and is like like, like Cookie Monster, but for body parts.
Oh no.
You see Delphi turn toward you, and she's like 100 feet away, and she goes, "Oh, to be young again," and turns back and like continues to do her thing.
Delphi is a mimic confirmed. Got it.
Okay.
Oh shit.
So
That's a
so while you're out there, we'll say that takes a few minutes.
Yeah.
Greymore, you are still in the dining room. The only person in there with you is Jason. He's kind of putting some healing potions to the side, and he's labeling them. And you can see he's labeling them for Greymore, Galileo, and he's starting to put a couple to the sides for each of you. And he's kind of doing a little count out of the cabinet.
Okay.
Is there anything you would like to do in here?
No, not really. I would just be sitting there, talking to my multi-personality selves, trying to figure out what happened.
And this is the
Just have a
first time-
combo in my head.
Exactly. So this is the first time that you can have all of your personalities accessible to you in your mind. And you can have those conversations whenever you feel necessary, or that it's necessary.
You've got like a toggle wheel user interface in your brain.
Yeah,
Drop
definitely.
down.
Yeah. Hold the button and it brings the wheel up, and you can put the arrow for whatever
like,
personality.
Yeah, you just hear Greymore going like, "Guys, what the fuck happened?" And then another one comes in. It's like, "Oh, we were supposed to murder everybody, but we didn't murder anybody. What the hell's going on?" And then another one's going like, see, well, what happened was this blue-eyed creature came out of nowhere and started attacking us, so we needed to." And then the other one just goes, "Oh, we're done here," and then walks away. It's kind of like what's going on in his head right now.
Love that.
Work.
It's just a lot of. That's cool.
He said one character's not enough. We need 4 characters. Okay, so at this point, I'll say that a little bit of time has passed. I'll ask you guys now. Oh my goodness.
That was
Hey
wild.
guys.
What just
How's
happened?
it going?
Oh, the lights fell.
I thought that was a
Hey.
snake. I was like, Lindsay's dead. That's it.
A snake made of light fell from the sky.
It's got
If
blue
that-
I put
patterns.
them up today, trying to make it kind of like nice.
If that's not a metaphor for some sort of D&D occurrence, I don't know what is.
I'm using it. I'm gonna write that down. A snake made of lights. Okay.
Guess what my cleric's god's gonna be next campaign? There you
snake
go.
made of
It's
lights.
Jupiter,
Oh my God, hell yeah.
obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Snake made of light.
So we'll say this. Does anyone come back down to greet or talk to Greymore? If not, we can skip toward nighttime and kind of move a bit along. But I'll give the opportunity for anyone who would maybe talk to Greymore at this point.
Raj, you remember that I said I wanted to talk?
Yes, this is a better time, I suppose.
Well, then you're not gonna like what I have to tell you.
Uh-oh.
I,
But,
I can't seem to remember what we were going to talk about.
well,
That's
then-
great, Nick.
Yeah.
But I would like to go see Greymore briefly to see his condition after this morning.
I don't doubt that you're curious, but I don't think I want to go. Do you want me to join you?
No, but I wanted to see if it was okay if I stepped away. Are you okay?
But of course, yes. Thank you for bringing me to this place. Much more comfortable here. I'm just going to rest a little bit and let my wounds heal, as well as my ego.
I will be back.
Good luck. If he goes back to the blue-eyed creature, please send distress, and we will come running. I'll probably die, but I will try.
I will do that. And then I want to go see Greymore.
Okay. You make your way down toward the dining hall.
When I see Greymore, I just kind of like want to stand still in the doorway for a sec and put all the lenses on him and like flip through
Okay.
and get like a proper little
Give
eye
me
scan.
give me a religion check here.
I always roll low. I've not rolled well on a single one of these religion checks since developing this protocol.
Until
But I've said that in the hopes of jinxing it.
Yeah, there you go.
But
That's
then
what
you
gotta
just
do.
unjinxed it.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
That's an 11.
okay, 11's fine.
Damn.
Okay, so you look at Greymore and you see a light to him. You also still see these silk webs above him pulling up. And that's really all you still see at this moment.
Greymore, how are you feeling?
How many, just out of curiosity, how many silk threads are there?
That's a great question.
You
Between
see,
6 and 9?
You see 8.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry, what you were saying, Galileo?
How are you feeling?
You kind of like startle him, and Greymore kind of like sushes himself a little bit.
Are you like actively like talking to yourself like out loud, like in a room?
I don't
or
know
something?
if it would be out. No, it wouldn't be out loud. It'd be in his
Yeah.
head. But you could totally like see him not twitch, but kind of have like him thinking upon himself, like
Yeah.
agreeing with stuff. Yeah, he has
Like me
that
in real
look.
life?
Yeah, you know, like the one that wants to just stop talking the entire time. Yeah. Yeah. So, Greymore, yeah, I'm feeling good. Why wouldn't I feel good? I feel like I'm ready to go.
You were quite mad this morning.
I don't know what this mad you speak of. I've got some sleep. I feel great. Why would I be mad?
Well, you about tore apart 3 of the lights in the room.
Greymore's looking up at the ceiling. The Yeah,
I'm
you're
sorry.
right. There's no lights in here. You are right. I'm sorry about that. I don't remember doing that though.
Can you see the strings?
There's no roof.
Are you
What?
are you familiar with spiritual entanglement?
I would say no.
Have you ever seen a
Are
marionette?
you familiar with spiritual entanglement? Can you enlighten on me for that one so I understand where you're coming from?
No, haven't the faintest.
Where did you come up with this blasphemy of a word?
Well, it seems like. Bear with me. I can see everyone that we travel with, and many others, lights. My directive is to protect the light. The light seems to radiate from within us, or whatever is mirrors whatever I am, and your light has strings attached.
Is it the same color as your light? Have you looked at your own light?
Once in the Feywild in Rue's workshop. Right? Am I remembering that correctly? But yours is the only one that has these strings. And
Makes sense why you don't protect me. Anywho, so what happened? What happened this morning? Like, why are we talking about light?
Well, you attacked the others in the group.
And then you kind of Greymore like takes a pause and it goes into his head. It's like, did we attack anybody? And then Killer the high pitched one, yeah, we definitely attacked. We were trying to kill the blue-eyed one. And then what was attacking you guys? Like, what did it look like? And that's towards Galileo.
It looked like you. You almost killed Raj. You almost killed was it Phoebe?
Phoebe.
And you almost killed was it Runeberg almost went down too?
No.
It wasn't Runeberg. Sylvie?
Mm.
That's just those two we almost killed?
Yeah, it was on Sylvie when.
I thought Ruberg was a hit from going down, but
That might have been the other one where he.
Full health.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got
that
killed
was
by
I didn't-
Greymore the previous time.
the previous time Greymore went crazy and tried to murder us. I had 2 hit points left.
Allegedly.
Oh, I don't know why it keeps happening this way.
And this is the second occurrence?
Yeah, it is. I forgot about the first one.
The other one we had an explanation for, though.
Yeah, first one I remembered. The second one, I really don't. I might need to take some time to think about that one. I don't recall doing that.
There is a phrase, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And this is the second occurrence. And it's like the same kind of like matter of fact like tone that Galileo said you killed Rue to Deacon and he was trying to recruit him.
Well, the first one was of a spell. Right? Like Raj was under that one too.
I remember what I wanted to talk to Raj about.
Do you say that out loud?
Oh yes.
Oh, what would you like to talk to Raj about?
I'm sorry, my functions from the last fight, verbal memory processing ones have been slow to return.
Well, I'm sorry if I harmed you.
On the contrary, I was fine. You harmed mostly everyone but me.
Okay.
I'm able to see something within you that I don't think others can. And I wanted to offer my abilities and insight and analysis to maybe help you better understand why you have these bouts of fratricide.
In Greymore's head, he's like, guys, should we tell them our different personalities? And it's just complete silence. And then the Witcher guy goes, no. And then Greymore comes back and he just goes, I'll definitely have to think about it. I really don't recall ever fighting any one of you. And then Greymore kind of like just sits down and is like just thinking to himself.
Do you care about us?
I mean, I have a tattoo from our friend that died from Deegan, so yes, I do.
Would you get tattoos of us if you killed us?
Well, seeming I don't remember attacking you, so I don't know if I would get the tattoo if I don't recall it. But I
Does
think
Does it scare you? What?
Not at the moment, because I don't have answers.
Do you believe me?
I mean, there is a wreck. I don't see. You've never told me a lie before.
You look around, Greymore, by the way, you still see blood stains, like some
Yeah.
puddles of blood in certain areas.
Yeah,
but-
I would recognize like the figuration of the blood wall that happened, and I know I'm the only one that has that ability, so like it is alarming him, but he's not gonna freak out in front of Galileo. In his mind, he's freaking out because he doesn't know what's going on, but he isn't. He's trying to be composed. I'm definitely gonna go reflect on what happened to figure out. But yeah, I really don't recall swinging my axe at anybody.
Okay. All right. Well, the offer stands to help. If
Do you think if you pulled one of the strings, it would help?
I don't know that I can. Would you allow it?
Wouldn't know you were doing it. I don't know where the strings are attached to.
Can I like walk over to him and like kind of go like over him to see if I can touch them physically?
So if you enact that protocol again,
Huh.
and those strings reappear, you would like to pluck a string, so to speak?
Yeah. Yes, I want to kind of like use the arcane runes on my body to like tap into like the fabric of the arcane that like animates me, and then see if it reacts to getting close to this string or touching it or moving through it or just touching it.
Okay. So you're not trying to destroy the strings,
I'm just trying to see if I can interface with it.
Okay. As you touch one of the strings, both of you immediately are in...
Death saving throws.
No, you guys are at the base of a mountain. Snow pounding down across. And you look in front of you, and you just see, instead of like a waterfall coming down this mountain, you just see blood draining down the side of the mountain. Both of you give me a perception check here.
Like, can I see him next to me?
Yeah, you
Yeah, we
both are
both
right
stand-
next
So
to
like we
Standing there, like,
we
side
basically
to
like
side.
teleported
Yeah.
somewhere. Okay.
I just imagine our two characters standing there side to side, like a little short guy, a little tall guy, like
Yeah.
staring at the
and,
blood
and,
river
and in
flowing down the
between you
mountain.
is just blood coming right down the mountain.
Yeah,
Almost like
yeah.
a river
Yeah, yeah.
forming in between you guys.
Yeah. You said perception. 13, 17.
I believe 18.
17 and 18? Okay. As you both follow the blood trail up the mountain, you see what looks like, not too far up, several hundred feet, you see what looks like a massive spider with a rod impaled into the side of it. As you, and you still see every so often with an 18 and 17, like a little twitch in the neck, and the arms are still like trying to extend and grab onto something, but you can see whatever this creature is, it is actively dying. As you turn around in this storm, it's odd, you hear thunder crack. And as you turn behind you, you see what you first think is saloon in the sky, one moon. But in fact, you see two eyes in the sky looming. And you hear more thunder cracking. What do you do?
Would Greymore recognize the spider
You can give me a
From-
religion check.
from the time that he was often the Underdark? Religion, not good. Oh, but I have a 5 in religion? No, 12.
Okay, 12. As you look up to the spider, you can't tell if this is a divine creature or if it's just a really big spider. It's hard to make that distinction at this point. Bird, I'll let you do one thing before I go next.
I'm ready.
What would you like to do in this moment?
So he doesn't recognize the spider, and then there's a bunch of eyes in the sky, or just like the two moons?
Just two eyes. What looked like a moon in the sky turns out to be two sets of eyes, or a pair of eyes.
I would like to background process, make sure I'm recording all of this for fidelity, and then I'll do my own religion check to see what. I'd like to also look to see if I can find the connection of the string to anywhere here.
Okay.
Like, are we on string, like a giant cosmic string? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Give me a religion check here.
18.
18. Okay. One thing that you notice is that blood is pouring. It's pouring past you, but it's also seeping into the ground as well. And you both are pulled from this vision for a moment, and you end up in a dark cave.
Cave Explorer.
In this pit, this portion of the cave that you're in, you see drips of blood over what is probably hundreds, if not thousands of years. And it's just dripping every so often into this pit. And at the bottom of the pit, over time, you're now starting to see a little bit of a time lapse. You see bodies just tossed into the pit from above. One of those bodies, Greymore, who was stabbed in the chest, tossed over the side. All of these bodies at the bottom of the pit, you watch as all of their eyes at one point turn blue, except for Greymore's. And you see the blood that they lost gets put into them from the blood that was placed in here. And it gives them that energy. And
Got
they
it.
stand up, begin to move, and you notice, Galileo, with the 18, all of these creatures, hundreds of them, have strings attached to them. Silk strings attached to them, including Greymore. And you guys pull back out, and you're back in the living room, or in the dining room.
What an acid trip.
Don't touch
Did you-
strings.
Fucking playing with ourselves, our strings over here.
This is the wrong Greymore personality to have for this. What was that?
I believe I'm fuzzy on some of the details. My memory banks are still updating from birth, but I believe there's an ancient spider dying on a mountain whose blood flows into caves, presumably. Well, I'd recognize the Underdark. Have we been there? Would I?
You guys have not been to the Underdark.
The bleeding down into caves where things that have been killed. Have you been killed?
I don't.
You know,
In the
Yeah.
in the vision,
No,
we saw
okay.
you.
Yeah, but I didn't know if it was reality yet. I saw it happen in my head.
Right. I didn't know if it was if you suffer. Do you also suffer from future memories like I do?
That was the first time I've ever seen something like that.
Precognitive memories. Interesting. And it seems that the blood from the ancient mountain spider is connecting all of those bodies and creating the strings. Now, my metaphorical capabilities are beyond.
What was crazy was seeing before I say that, above table, did Greymore see what Galileo saw during that, or was that only Galileo's vision going
No,
into
we were
the
both there.
Underdark?
That's both of you. The only thing that he saw that was unique was the strings attached to everyone around, really.
Okay, but he saw like all the creatures' eyes turn blue and everything like that.
Almost like an out-of-body
for you.
experience for you.
Right. So I was gonna go like, well, the interesting thing was that all those creatures' eyes turned blue and mine stayed the same.
Yes, it's like you are all in one way the same, yet you are unique.
Do you think I have 100 of those in me?
100 what?
Hundreds of
things?
thousands of those blue-eyed things?
No, I see only
Like,
8.
am I the pack leader?
It's. I don't think that's beyond reason. I think you maybe could command an undead army. No, there may be
Alpha?
something to this, and I would like to maybe attempt further, but I have to catch up with Raj before I lose something else.
Well, okay. Well, hopefully I remember this. Well, I guess I see all four personalities see now, so I guess I would remember.
If you forget, I have. Oh, true. I can replay it for you.
Okay. You know, nothing like leaving on a cliffhanger, but I understand that you just remembered something about Raj, so.
If I don't go now, I'll never remember again.
Understandable. Have you tried writing things down?
In my head.
Got it. Alright, well, I'm gonna go figure out how I almost killed my friends.
I'm here if you'd like to.
No, you're not. You're going to Raj.
Further.
So yeah, I'll talk to you later, Galileo. We should definitely have another acid trip like that again. I mean, string attach, and then Greymore will go ahead and just not walk away. He'll stay in the same room, but like kind of move at the end of the bar so no one sees him.
You see, so here's the thing. You see Jace, he pulls out a mop and he tosses it at you, Greymore, after that conversation, and he's got this bucket made, and he wants you to start cleaning some of the blood on the ground before Rundar gets back. Galileo, as you start to walk up the stairs, here's the final part of your 18 that you get. Since you stink at religion checks, as you're 90% there, before you get back to the room with Raj, it clicks. It was a book that you read in the Cobalt Soul of the deities, Loth, the Spider Queen, and it kicks at that moment, and you connect the strings, the silk, and then you walk into the room with Raj.
Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you walked in there, Raj?
I'm sorry. Talk, I was just resting my eyes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can go back to sleep. I'll leave you be.
No, it's okay. Did you have something for me? How did your conversation with the Greymore go?
I have much interesting news to share with the group when we get back together. I believe I've discovered a piece of what causes Greymore to disassociate and attack us.
Interesting. Yes, please share that with our group. You won't have to explain it twice.
But if you had a quick moment, I wanted to apologize.
Apologize?
Yes.
Why would you apologize?
Because it occurs to me that though it has never been my intent to harm you, I believe I did when we were in the manor.
This is true.
And
You and Greymore have now both hurt me.
I think this is the first time I've kind of seen someone else do something hurtful and realized that I've done it. And I don't like how that feels. So I wanted to apologize.
Why did you hurt me? Was I doing something wrong?
It appeared to me that you are not yourself, and I was hoping to shake you out of that, but I overreacted, which was also a first for me.
Well, I'm still here.
Yes,
So
you are.
whatever you did was, I can understand for good. Greymore at the moment, I'm not so sure. But time will tell.
Further analysis indicates an apology and then penance. So, may I do anything to make it up to you or make this better?
Yes. Could you
Are we
please
recording?
And cut to the animation. Thanks, guys. These are our
Sorry.
sponsors. We'll be right back.
There is nothing on the top of my head that I can think of right now. But you are forgiven, and maybe I'll cash that favor in at one time later down the road.
A blood debt it is.
A blood debt it is. And Raj will spit on his hand and put his hand out.
That's not a blood debt. That's a spit debt. Debt.
Okay. Raj will cut his hand open.
No, you don't have to.
Raj, it actually mixes with the dried blood on your hand from
There you go.
combat
There you
earlier.
Actually, that would probably kill me, so Raj drops.
The sight of blood panics you and you pass out again.
I got the heart from Rue that like gives me like a circulatory system as like an enhancement. So I'll like there'll be a little bit of blood on my palm that I can leak from some orifice.
It's just like motor oil.
No, it would look like blood, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you zoomed in on it, it had little runes on the
Check on
cells.
That's
Sorry?
good.
Can I do an Arcana check on your blood?
Sure.
Always ask for consent.
Galileo,
Good job, guys.
I'm gonna have you come up with a backstory on the fly, depending on the level that he succeeds at. So you
Sure.
can play this one by ear.
Gotcha. So you're passing this my way. I got it.
7.
7?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not really like Galileo doesn't cut himself or anything. Like he's in perfect condition. He didn't take any damage in that fight. But when he holds his hand out, palm up, you can see like where in between the joints of the knuckles or the hand or however I imagine he's got like kind of plated palms, but out of like just kind of like a little pool of blood, like it happens in his hand. Like it just like leaks from the joints. And when you Arcana check it, I mean, you can still see the soft green glow of magic underneath his clothing, underneath the rags that surround his torso, the plates. You can hear the arcano-mechanical stuff, like the whirring of a clock going so fast that it sounds like a hum, slower clocks that like happen at different intervals, And he's never bled before. He got an upgrade from Rue, but the blood just looks like blood. It's like a weirdly uncanny human thing that he has now. So with the 7, like, I don't know, it might give you a chill. But I mean, actually, not Raj, because Raj is he's got the skull and fucking voodoo and shit. So if anything to you, if anything, with a 7, it would upset you in a way that you can't explain as it relates to your new patron of undeath, maybe.
Okay, cool.
Like a weird feeling somewhere in there that is like, huh,
He's still got it.
I like it. So as we kind of have this interaction, Raj is going to look up at Galileo. He's just going to say, Galileo, thank you for coming to me with your apology. Not that it was needed, but I've never really had a someone I could call a true friend before, and I think this is what you are, what meets that definition. So, thank you for being you. And he'll just kind of like shake your hand and kind of retire off.
Okay. And I guess I just won't say anything. I'll just let you leave. That'll be it for me. Thanks, guys. Sorry, I don't mean to take up so much of the time, but
No,
appreciate it.
great.
You 3 have crushed so
storytelling.
far.
And I'm gonna sentry outside, or proximate to Raj, like if not in the room, like outside the room or wherever he ends up sleeping or chilling or whatever.
Okay. Raj, since we're in the same room as you still, or that we're still with you, do you want to do anything in this moment, or do you want to go back to resting?
Great question. Sorry, not thinking on the fly. No, I think Raj would kind of just take some time to unpack the morning events, especially after Galileo came to him and was talking about the apology and things like that. Kind of something that was unexpected for Raj to receive at that moment in time. So he's just going to kind of hang out and be on his own for a little bit.
Okay. Phoebe, Sylvie, you guys have made your way upstairs. You have been resting for 30 minutes, an hour, or however long you need. Anything you two would like to discuss or do in this moment?
How's Phoebe looking?
I think that Phoebe's just kind of like in and out of sleep. If it's just 30 minutes, like she's kind of like propped up, maybe like in a big comfy chair somewhere and just like resting her eyes, but just like resting or napping. So if there's anything that Sylvie wanted to talk about, she's available, but just kind of like half in, half out.
I think that probably for the first hour while Phoebe was resting, Sylvie would probably look through some of the. She got one book, a couple books from Jace.
I think it was a couple.
I would just kind of review them. You don't have to go over what it is right now, but that would be kind of the first thing that she would do. And then once she sees Phoebe kind of coming back and waking on up, she would just kind of like kneel at the foot of the chair so that she's just kind of like in front of her and just kind of say, Phoebe, I'm concerned. I think that the group will do everything they can to save our mother, but I don't know if the plan with the Vestiges doesn't go through. I'm worried they're going to try to kill Mama and therefore kill us. We need a plan.
We do need a plan, and I think that is the scariest things that could happen because there isn't a good option, I don't think, because obviously whatever they're trying to make Mama do isn't good. but I also don't want to lose her or you or Papa. But it's just I think that maybe Maman should succeed, and then maybe we stop someone else. But I don't think that that's going to be the easiest, because who's to say Maman succeeds and then we can't? What if we could not even stop her? What if she fought us?
Wait.
Do you think she would?
Wait, I mean, I think that if her choices were to knock us unconscious and succeed so that we can live versus us all have to die and be tortured forever, I think she would do what she has to do, but I don't know what we're supposed to do.
What if it? So see, and what if she does succeed? Crazy idea. We just let her do what she's going to do, and then there is an apocalypse. And who's to say we don't survive the apocalypse? Apocalypses are survivable. People survive the calamity. As you can see, there are still people populating the earth. It might not be. It would be the end of the world, but it might not be the end of the world. Just, but that is just me being idealistic. I don't know what to do either.
I think you and I both know we would not be okay with that.
No.
But
I
think that if we can convince them to try the third option with trying to put a good vestige in an obelisk, perhaps, I don't know, if putting the bad vestiges in the obelisk has to be something to do with the divine gate. So if it weakens the divine gate, maybe putting the good ones in will strengthen the divine gate, and that way, we put 2 good ones in, strengthen it, let Mama succeed, and then we're just on flat ground, and then we don't have to die, and the apocalypse doesn't have to happen. And so
it's okay.
I think that we have to try that first, but if that doesn't work and Mama fails, I just need to know if we're okay with that, or are we running? What are we doing?
If Maman fails, I think that we need to have a backup plan, because, obviously we're not going to be like, oh no, she failed, put the chains on me, it's fine. There has to be another option there. But
And what
we
if
could always... There's always the Feywild, and people get lost in there all the time.
And what if they decide to kill Mama instead to prevent that from happening?
But we can't let... I can't let that happen. I mean,
not.
I guess I can't... No, and but Jace wouldn't do that to you. I mean...
Sure he would. Above all else, he is there to protect against corruption.
Could
and
you
what
kill
higher
Jace?
form of corruption? Wait, he's part of the Cobalt Souls. That's what we stand for, is against corruption. And what higher
But
form
could
of corruption?
you kill him?
What?
What if it comes down to Maman or Jace?
I don't think we'll have to make that decision either.
I don't want that to happen. I just wanted to know how you felt about it in case it did happen.
I have no intention of killing him. He's a good man. But
right.
I have a plan. And so if it seems as though killing Mama is still on the table, I just need you to trust me.
I always have. And I always will. I'm with you.
Let's see if we can do whatever we can to convince them to try the Vestiges first and see if that will solve this whole problem.
It should. I believe that either way it will help. And even if it just helps by giving us knowledge that it did not work, we know more than we did the day before. And I just, do you ever wish that there were more of us and then we could send like a second strike team to somewhere else and be like, okay, you go do this one thing, you go put the good vestige somewhere else, and then we'll go do this other thing, and
Is
because
this above
then
table?
maybe we could do. Yes.
I have an
Sorry,
army.
sorry, Lynn.
No.
I think that, I mean, that is part of what the Cobalt Soul does. So there's a very good chance that if that's what we decide to do, that a second strike team will be sent out to do exactly that.
Cobalt Soul Team
Is it-
6.
Yeah. So
Well, yes. Just make sure that none of the other obelisks are successfully reunited with their vestige, and then okie dokie, all good, right?
and Sylvie's just kind of like brush the hair out of like Phoebe's face and just be like, get some rest, and we'll figure it out afterwards.
Okay, there is tea on the kettle. Please drink some. Thank you for saving my life again.
No, it's always you that saves my life.
And if you turn a corner and it's just you and Greymore in a hallway, maybe don't go down that hallway, okay?
Believe me, if it was him or a bear, at this point I'd choose the bear, no problem.
Easy, easy. And I am the bear, so like, absolutely.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Get some rest. And she's like, she's just gonna kind of
Thank
like lean, thank you, in front of the chair and like just read the books that she got from Jace. While Phoebe gets some rest.
So
Yeah, I think that Phoebe would just kind of stretch and sprawl.
I have to mention I love Phoebe's optimism, like eternal optimism. We can survive an apocalypse.
No.
If my family's alive, I can do anything.
People have done it before. Like that's such a fun like. What a line. Okay, so
Above table, I have a question though. Like, so this deal is with a devil, is that correct? Not a demon? Or is this deal with a demon?
devil?
So the devil.
My deal or my mom's deal? Both are with the devil.
Okay, so devils are like lawful evil, right? And so like you're trying to find a way to cheat the contract by like making the system fail in one way, but still letting your mom put her contract in and hoping that because they lived up to it, that we're hoping that we can get out of it.
Are you using ChatGPT to find a loophole, Matthew?
No, I was just asking. Like that's what I'm trying to confirm that that's the plan.
I think
I
so,
like
right?
That's one
Well,
of
we
the
don't
plans.
know. That's the hope. The hope
Okay.
is that if these obelisks, if putting in a bad vestige, because I don't remember what they're called, if putting in a bad vestige weakens the divine gate, because I imagine that's what it's doing. If we put a good vestige in, maybe it'll strengthen it. And if we strengthen divine gate, but then weaken it with one, mom completes what she was supposed to do, we all get to live.
Okay.
We're
But
good.
divine
cool.
gate's not weakened. So that's my hope. That's
Let's
the
send
hope.
out a Cobalt Soul Strike team to every single obelisk so that everyone else fails.
Well, I mean, if we can only get so many vestiges that they can put into obelisks, we don't even know what's going to happen to the vestige. Is it going to destroy it? Gods can probably just make another one. They're fucking gods. They can do whatever. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's the hope. We strengthen one and weaken one, we're neutral. So,
Okay, so you had 3 books. I pulled them up. Prince of Evil. You had the Darkness, and then you had Betrayer Gods. I assume the Britannica, the Wildmount Britannica version of Betrayer Gods, just all of them. So I'll let you pick which of the 3 books would you like to start reading the first chapter on, and then you can go ahead and roll an intelligence check on that as you read to maybe process that information.
I'm going to Prince of Evil.
Prince of Evil. Smart.
Just about Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
It's just a picture book of trains.
Okay.
You open the book and it starts with like, fun fact, he didn't know it was a bat. He thought somebody threw food at him and he bit the head off. And you're like, yeah, I knew that.
It's a 14 intelligence check.
Okay, 14. This is kind of like a collection of short stories of how people have experienced the Prince of Evil throughout history. And the first thing that comes up, like the immediate theme that pops up within the first chapter is that, or within the first short story, is that he always tells the truth. It's not often that the Prince of Evil, the Prince of Lies, actually lies. He kind of lets one of the characters just kind of vent and express themselves the entire time, and he most of the time agrees with them, and then he finds a little bit of a wiggle room to exploit something. But he, for as grand as he is about lying, he doesn't do it often, which makes him exceptionally devastating when he does lie. And it kind of helps build the truth and like people trust him, which is also terrifying. So that's kind of the theme that you get from one of the first short stories. Phoebe, as you begin to nod off, you see a shooting star. No.
Again?
Lands in the
We'll do it.
I don't know why my brain's on that one today. You hear, as you nod off, you hear in your head, "Hey, kiddo." And immediately, you haven't heard that in months. Sorry that we haven't been around. We, we're trying to look out for each other, and I think we'll get through this. Just look out for your sister, would you? And you immediately pick up on that being your father, Arvel. And you're in a weird state where you don't know if he sent a message or if you're dreaming as you're in between nodding off and coming back to.
And like, even if I am like in the in between like thoughts, just hanging on the edge, and it just like thinking back, I win, I do, love you, and then passes out.
All right. Runeberg. Oh, Raj, go ahead.
I'm sorry. You can go to Runeberg. I forgot I wanted to do something. I thought you were going to end the session there, so I was getting ready to interrupt. But yeah, go with Runeberg.
Okay. Runeberg.
Yeah.
You're full.
Where to go for Runeberg?
Your armor is full, and it's actually getting greedy at this point. It's like taking more than it can actually eat.
Great.
And you can start to see Delphi at first was kind of like, happy for you, and now she's getting a little territorial. Like, you're eating a lot of bodies and you're not leaving a lot of heads behind.
Oopsie poopsie.
So what would you like to do within this hour or two that everyone else has been doing something?
I'm feeling a little peckish. Maybe I'll go just grab a snack.
Okay.
That sounds like a fun thing to do.
You walk back into the dining hall and you see Greymore mopping the floor, and he's like, and Jace is pointing at this blood wall line, which has done a number to the wood on the floor.
Right.
And Jace is really concerned with Rundar's not gonna like that. Like, we need to figure out.
With the giant hole in the front of the building.
You just like Greymore's like, what do you mean he's not gonna like that? There's a hole. There's no roof.
We can fix that. This is wood brought in from Marquette. Do you know how long it took and how expensive this wood is right here? This is from the Marquesian forest that once existed in that desert. Rundar's gonna be pissed.
Well, from what I heard, you guys love blood anyway, so I just sealed it with your favorite color.
Not on the wood.
Allegedly. I still don't know if I did this or not.
So as you hear this conversation,
Allegedly.
I would like to note that if Rue was here, they would be making a joke about Marquesian wood because, that's where they're from, and yeah.
Marquesian wood. You hear like a spectral whisper of it.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
Everyone.
You see Rue's ghost form in the end of
Wood.
episode 3, yeah, with Darth Vader and the rest of them. Anyways, you hang out there, and I guess you can kind of watch the banter as him and Jace just bicker at each other on like, this needs to be fixed. How the hell are we gonna fix it? And they just go back and forth for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I'll say that we'll go back to Raj real quick. and then we'll kind of do a quick day by day as we transition into our next leg of the adventure. So Raj, what'd you have?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot until I was
You're
looking at my notes.
How dare you.
Raj would have, after he had had the conversation with Galileo, he would have taken some time to himself and tried to reach out to the Raven Queen to ask her specifically about Greymore.
Hmm.
And if she had any information, or because Raj is, well, let's say this was before Galileo, just because like Raj is feeling attacked from everybody.
What does you communing with the Raven Queen look like as you are up in this bedroom, wounded severely, closer to her than you've been in a while? Well, since the manor, I guess, physically, as you're wounded. What does that look like for you?
I would say Raj would be sitting on the floor, and his eyes would become the flame of this, like that's inside the skull. So the skull kind of emulates this like light green color. So that color would be coming out of Raj's eyes, and he would be completely kind of frozen in time, and he just I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. I just did a really deep meditation.
Okay. Give me a religion check here.
21.
21. Incredible. What was the question that you asked here as you fully meditate?
Who is this Greymore, and can he truly be trusted?
Okay. You close your eyes, and as you reopen them, you see a large looming figure, porcelain mask, and you see all of these strings going in different directions from her. And one of the strings she kind of picks up and brings you closer, almost like you're sitting meditating, but her hand was underneath you the whole time, and she brings you up to her mask, and she pulls one of these strings and brings it right up to you, and you see Greymore. Greymore, when you look a little bit closer, he's evaded the Raven Queen in a very unnatural way. He was supposed to be with her by now. And you can see that she kind of plucks the string and kind of tosses you, Greymore, almost like a doll. And as you look at his body laying on the ground, you see that there are several silk strings still attached to him. And you hear kind of like whispers throughout this area. Puppets. Loth. And you get the gist that Greymore himself is not a bad person, but the strings potentially make him a bad person. And you see her swoop her hand across, and she begins to pluck each of the silken strings off of him. And then he, for the first time, sits up, looks around, and he has this friendliness and this fondness that you see in his eyes. And you know what you must do now. Remove those strings that hold Greymore back. And you come back to, and you're still in the room.
I think Raj would get up to go downstairs to talk to him, and that's when Galileo would have been at the door.
Perfect. Okay, so as we round out day one, I'm going to actually push us to day 2 here. We'll say that you all kind of stay in your own sections, kind of do your own thing as you're trying to figure out what's going on with each other, the big mission at play. One thing I will note, you never see Cal, Rundar, Mads, Eldaron, Jerome, Fearnet. You never see them come back after day 1. So as of right now, they've been gone for a little under a day. Day 2, is there anything anyone would like to get done specifically in day 2, maybe as a goal, and we can kind of work through it real quick.
Parents aren't around, throw a party. House party.
Immediately, Jace, like, he throws
Don't
a
get
rat
blood in
at
the
you.
wood.
JB's like trying to steal like liquor from the cabinets. I get like Jace. It's similar, but they'll want healing potions.
Jace has put
Phoebe's
baby
going
locks
for
on
liquor.
these, like, across the board now that you guys are here.
So we're gonna pick the locks. I'm just kidding. Sylvie
We could.
wants to try to get everyone together to see if we can come up with our plan for the obelisks. So wants to see if we can get everyone on the same page.
As you all gather around for lunch, let's say, Jace will sit at the table with you all. After you, Sylvie.
Well, after doing some reading and some research, and forgive me, we don't know that putting the vestige into the obelisk weakens the divine gate. That's just, we don't know that.
That is your guys' speculation.
Good guess.
Okay.
Pure supposition.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sylvie would kind of say, we know that there are 8 obelisks. We know that there are 9 betrayer gods and 9 prime deities. And if each of these obelisks has a place to put a bad vestige, because again, I don't remember the name. I wonder is that supposed to weaken the divine gate so that the gods, all of them, can come back through. Now, we know that the betrayer gods want to come back through, but we don't think the prime deities want to come back through, at least not that we know of, right? We don't know that any of them want to come back through. No. I am hoping to save the most lives, and I'm hoping that we know that at least 2 of the higher-ups are willing to donate their vestiges to see if this will work. So we can try putting one in there, see if there's any sort of reaction, see if it destroys the vestige, and kind of go from there. And if we can do that and it strengthens the divine gate, or perhaps then our mother can put her vestige in, succeed in that mission, and then we don't have to die. And that's my hope, but we won't know step 2 until we actually try and put a good vestige into an obelisk. I'd like to try to get that done. And she'll look at Jace. Do we know if there's any sort of time frame on any of this placement?
The only thing that you know was it was about 2 weeks out for your mothers.
But we don't know if they all have to occur at the same time.
Nope.
And we still don't know where the last obelisk is either, right?
It has not popped up yet.
Okay.
So do we know which obelisk our mother has to go to?
Jace does know. This one is actually in Jorhas.
Okay, perfect. So then perhaps we can choose a closer one if there is a closer one. And try it with Rundar. Seems the least attached to his vestige since he can do all the things it can do. Mad seemed willing, but perhaps a little hesitant because it was cool. So
It is pretty
No,
good.
he Mads isn't attached to it. I mean, he's attached to it in a way you would be if you had a staff for 100 years, I guess. But like, he's not.
yeah, that's more Jordan than Sylvie, but
Yeah.
but
So we put the good ones in, and then maybe the Cobalt Soul could send out strike teams to guard the other obelisks while our mother's mission is happening. I mean, I am obviously no commander of the Cobalt Soul, but like if they just had extra eyes on the situation and made sure that they're not trying to do just one big swoop and get it all done. You know?
Interesting.
what does everyone think?
Did it involve killing?
I'm sure there will be some killing, but
Count me in.
I sure do
Okay.
love killing.
Greymore, would you be referring to us?
Oh. Why would I kill you guys?
That's a great question.
Fantastic.
That is a
question.
great question.
I really don't know what you're talking about. I just want to go kill something.
Okay, well, I've got my eye on you.
Baby blanches, like goes completely pale. Like
Not a good time to roll that personality.
He looks at you and says, "Perhaps try again tomorrow."
Not a good time for a piece of gum. All right.
Told you to be cool, Greymore. Damn it.
Cool, bro. Be cool.
so, are we all on board with borrowing Rundar's vestige and then going after our? So we leave the peace talks at Rexxentrum and head straight to the closest obelisk, and we just do the thing and maybe get exploded. Who knows?
Is
Who's gonna? Does anyone have mage hand by any chance? Just a question.
Negative.
Thank you.
I don't have any spells.
I don't have any spells either.
Damn. That's crazy.
Me neither.
So first question is, would everyone be willing to try that?
Of course, it seems like the most logical decision for us to make. I don't see us as killers. Well,
Whoa. Come on now. We just said we were going to do this if I get to kill some things.
right. I mean, you'll eventually get to kill something, but
It's guaranteed.
yeah,
Um,
there's a bird outside. Well, that's-
Oh,
So-
come on.
Roomberg?
I think if you explained the whole lawful evil devils breaking the contract by completing the contract, I think he would be totally on board with that plan.
The next question is timing. Do we try to block the obelisk before they have to enact their plan? So do we try to do the obelisk before the peace talks, or do we do it afterwards and just hope? Because if it fails, we do not have any time to do a backup plan if we don't do it early. So that is the other question.
There is that, but are we going to put our vestige into the one that Maman was going to, or
No.
we're letting her do what she is doing?
We have to leave that one open, because if we block that one and she cannot
needs to succeed.
complete, well, she can't
Okay.
complete her task, and then we die and get tortured forever. So,
I was
Yeah.
confused. Thank you.
yep, nope, leave hers open alone. And until we figure out if that's something, and if we try to do the good vestige in and it does nothing, then we have to try another plan. And so I think we're going to have to try it at least. We're going to have to be able to try it at least a little bit early so we can pivot if we need to.
formulate the package.
Would we know if
Sounds
there was?
okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nope, you're good.
Would we know if there is an obelisk that is close to Rexxentrum, or like what the closest obelisk to Rexxentrum was? Like, is that common knowledge?
I mean, they've
So-
been around for 100 years. I assume we would know.
Yeah, you guys know.
Yeah.
But real quick, on a note that was made previously, Rexxentrum is not one of the cities that was attacked when all of those cities were attacked. So Rexxentrum is still under the control of the Dwendalian Empire. I don't remember who made that comment, but I wanted to clarify that now while I've got the map pulled up. So there
It
are
It was the dash, right? That was
Zadash
taken.
Fell, yeah.
Okay.
So there are three vestiges. There are three obelisks on Wild Mountain. One is in the Lushgut Forest in the northwestern portion of the Wild Mountain. There's one in Jorhas, which is in the, if I'm looking at the map, the eastern portion under the Kryn Dynasty. And Lushka, Jorhas, and then there's one in the northern part under the Dwendalian Empire's control, over by Icehaven, near Icehaven, not at Icehaven, but in that northern.
So that
area.
one might be the closest, maybe.
But the one in,
Rexxentrum.
but the one in Jorhas is the one that Mama has to put hers at.
Yeah, so the one in Icehaven would be the one that would be the closest, most viable one to Rexxentrum.
Yeah, few days journey from there.
Few days. Okay.
Okay.
I know I like to kill things and all, but something inside me telling me I should say this out loud. Do the obelisks accept specific vestiges?
See, that's what we're trying to figure out, is if it's like a keyhole or if it's just kind of like a big orifice, you know?
Unfortunately, I do not remember from my vision.
Could we contact your mother and ask her?
We could, but I don't know if she's seen it. And I'll just look at Jace. Jace seems to be our fountain of knowledge here.
Like, are we burying it next to it, like we did with the Eldaron did with Baldy's brother, or are we inserting it in it?
We're inserting it in it, but I do not know if it is a like square hole for a square item, or if it is just a big old hole and anything will go in.
Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
They all go in the square hole. Every single thing.
That's true.
I don't.
The other thing that what I should have done, I know what I'm going to do on day 2 after this. I'm going to look at all the vestiges, see if I can find out what the vestiges are. Is there there's a sword and a sword between betrayer gods and prime deities. There's a mace and a mace. Like, are they equal, or is it just kind of like a mishmash of crap?
Great question.
It's a mismatch. It's a hodgepodge. Yeah, there's like.
Okay. That's good to know too. So maybe it's not so specific.
And Jace says that it looks like it's mostly a 1-to-1 situation.
Shoot.
So one as in whoever gets there first?
To place their vestige in?
It looks like the vestige is meant to fit a particular, or the whole
specific one.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's what we've got from early reconnaissance.
Then we have a few days' journey ahead of us.
Alright, let's go kill things. We gotta go now.
We should depart soon.
Greymore grabs his potions that's on the bar.
Jason's
like super excited.
Not yet. Don't touch those.
Sylvie's just going to look at Jace then and just say, based on what you know about the opening in the obelisk and the vestiges that potentially have to go into it, do you think there's any chance that this could work, or is this just a fool's mission and we're wasting time?
It doesn't appear to me that it would work. Not to say that it can't work, but I don't see how it will work.
Then I think we have to have a backup plan.
So we intercept another group that is bringing a vestige, and then we take that vestige, and then we run and we throw it into the ocean. We get on a ship. Theoretically speaking, we steal a boat and go to the middle of the ocean, and we just throw it, and they don't. That one does not ever get to succeed ever.
Chase chimes in and says, "What if you lose a few of your people?"
To whoever. I mean, that is always an option. Yes.
Do this. Yeah, do this. Greymore. In Greymore's head, you kind of like see a tap on the shoulder, and he's like, "Let me take this over." And then like you just see glasses pop up, and he goes, "Well, what if? Now hear me out. we bless the evil vestige that's going in at the same time, so the keyhole matches with the keyhole. So then the vestige is technically no longer evil because it's been blessed by a holy.
But which none of us are technically. The closest thing we have to a holy person currently is Raj.
Doesn't have to be
Maybe
from
we-
this party. We have a couple days and endless resources to reach out to somebody.
I mean, that is true, but
Just a thought
Raj?
instead of trying to run around the universe to throw something in the water that still might be found.
Maybe.
Just make it holy and put it in.
Seriously, no one's touching that.
I looked at you.
And then there is the potential option of Runeberg. Do we know about your sword?
Yeah, because Galileo identified it,
Okay.
Yes.
and when he told me about
Okay.
it, you were all there. So
Okay. That is the other possibility. It'll still fit in there, but if it has no magic, I guess that is the other option.
yeah, I think before I forget, I might practice that like while we're sitting here. You know what I mean? Like practice absorbing shit with it.
Yep.
I don't know what. You'll have to tell me what's available, but
I'll say that you take there's daggers galore in this place. You
Oh
just
my-
take a dagger and almost like iPhone to iPhone, you just place it on top and you start to pull that magic from it, and you can see the glow in the sword that you have, and then it dims. It takes about 10 minutes or so, but you take the magic from that dagger.
okay.
But do we not think that this would also prevent our mother from succeeding?
That would depend on the terms of the contract.
If it says verbatim must place object into obelisk, and then you're cool, then we're fine. But
Yeah, if
I
there's
don't
any specific information in there about how that works.
must
Yeah.
also work.
Chippa?
Sylvie, do you think that you could, I don't know, like call that guy that you talked to and ask if we can get like a paper copy of the contract and say, hey, can we read it? Can we get a word for word?
Can we just
Maybe-
kill the guy that gave you the contract?
No, I don't think that we. I would love to kill Asmodeus, and so would probably the rest of the world, but I don't think that's feasible. Unfortunately.
Please reach out and ask and see if he has more information on the details of it. That's fine. I can reach out to him. D'accord, then, at the very least, we know that if we're going to try my plan that likely won't work, then we have to do it before so that we can enact whatever our backup plan is going to be. So is there a way for us to get to that obelisk and then to the peace talks before they start, and we can try it before, or do we need to do it after and then basically just stake out there for our backup plan?
If you're asking Jace, he'll say, we've got 4 days to make this happen. We can do it, but we have to be surgical.
Then let's do it.
The only thing we need is Rundar, who we have not seen since yesterday. Do you think there's any ways that you can reach out and see if we can get his vestige, and then that way they're split up, so if it works, then we can always see if Mads can go deliver his vestige somewhere else?
I'll reach out to him.
What about the dragons? Could they give us a ride there? Quicker than we walk?
That would be cool, but I'm pretty sure Koboso probably has magic.
We can teleport ourselves in that area. Yeah, pretty safely. at least near there. Might be a little hike to get to the obelisk, but we can get close enough. Well, if that's the plan, then I say we need to start packing.
Is that acceptable with you, Jace?
I'm with you. We'll try it, and then if it doesn't work, we'll come up with another plan until we have to meet that end.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being willing to try. I know it's not necessarily the most straightforward plan, but I appreciate everyone's willingness to try.
It is a plan, and it promotes the safety of your mother, hopefully. So.
And us. Don't forget that we would also be killed and tortured for eternity.
Forever.
Yes.
I would also like to maybe just bring up the point one more time. For the backup plan, behind the backup plan, behind the backup plan, that we do. Deegan also has a vestige. And if we can successfully win him back to our side, then that is a vestige in our hands and not in an obelisk. And I just want us all to remember that there might be a secret fourth option. Also,
I think that plan is already happening. I think it's just above our pay grade.
That is true. That is true. Just something to think about, and
my head's telling me to bring this up. Could this interrupt peace talks? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
That is my only concern, but I don't know. So either we do it beforehand, if something does drastically happen, like my vision, but the opposite, then they'll know that something is up. But is that an attack on Growing Wildlands? Would that interrupt peace talks? Potentially. But do we leave halfway through the peace talks and get there a few days early? But then we only have a few days for our plan. But
I think that is a very good point. I had not even thought of. And if this is real peace talks, and then we go and
blow up an obelisk.
Some would say a terrorist plot.
My hope is that.
Are you guys the bad guys?
Are we the bad?
Not yet.
I think I am. Or am I the good guy?
In my vision, when Mama placed the mace into the obelisk, it was pretty immediate that there was a reaction. So I don't know if she was the last one and they just all had to be in place and she was the last piece of that puzzle to make it go, or if it happens instantly. But that is unfortunately a risk, and I think it's one we're going to have to take. But if it sounds like it's not going to happen anyway, then at least this gives us a little bit more time.
Anyway.
But I'm happy to. I don't know that we want to split our party and send half to the peace talks and half to an obelisk.
I call obelisk.
Perfectly reasonable.
It'd be really funny if Greymore goes to like the one that ends up there's no combat. It's just
the peace talk is all carnage.
Yeah. Obelisk is just like a rock sitting in the wilderness and nothing's happening.
What do you guys think? Go early, go after the peace talks? What would you prefer? Going before is a risk, but it gives us more time.
I think if we'll just to chime in, if you're like, the issue is we just we have a theory. We don't have any research or information indicating whether or not our theory works. Hell, I mean, completing the obelisk and letting it blow up or whatever, we don't even know that that's the world ender that we think it is. We just suppose it is, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know anything. So going is just going to set us up to maybe experiment on it. which will be nice because we could gain some information. But staying, we could also gather information about obelisks or about peace talks or about the Graying Wildlands. The time should be used, in my opinion, to gather information. But as far as having a strong plan goes, I mean, we crafted a plan that it is lacking a lot of details, but it does get us what we want. We get our cake and to eat it too. So it's a good plan, especially since it seems our expectations are grounded in reality as well.
So go early or go after the peace talks?
I don't know anything about obelisks, devils. I mean, I'd have to do research. I'd be better downloading information.
Do we think that maybe we go to the first days of the peace talks and then we go to the first day and then see if we can't suss any information out pretty quickly and then just kind of sneak off? But I think you're right, though. I think going beforehand would be the wisest thing to do. And also, we know that they're going to enact this plan after the peace talks. I think that's 1 + 1 = 2, right?
Or during, because we don't know how long the peace talks are going to last.
Also that, so that we already know that this isn't even a peace talk. They're just distracting them. They're still going to do the things that they plan on doing. They're just trying to get so why is it going to matter if we also do the same thing that they're doing? You know?
All those in favor of going before the peace talk?
Wait, yeah, so yes. Let's go before.
Then Jace, perhaps if we can get a hold of Rundar so that we can get his vestige, and then we can perhaps either leave tonight. I just need to reach out to Xerxes.
Okay. Let's plan to leave tonight. I'll try to contact Rundar, and maybe we can... Well, we'll see them before we go, obviously. So as day 2 rounds out, it begins, the sun begins to set, and coming back through the doors as you all have your things packed ready to go, you see Jace also lays down a few Cobalt Soul uniforms down for you guys. Well, we need to adjust that, and you see he casts a spell to make it a little bit wider for the Greymores of the party, and he begins to fix up these uniforms, puts them on to you guys, sizes them up, gets them ready, places them down. He says, "All right, I think we're good to go." Shortly after that, Rundar, Eldaron, Calcidius, Mads make their way back in, and Rundar says, there are tunnels everywhere beneath us, similar to what we saw in Zadash.
Like Kong coming.
Like they're being dug actively by our enemies?
We searched for the better part of 36 hours or so. Labyrinths and labyrinths, dead ends, and we're exposed.
Oh.
Eldaron leans in and says, "It's time to go home, then. Let's start packing it up. We'll leave them a surprise for when they do, or if they do try to attack us, but I think it's time to go back to the sanctuary." And Rundar tosses the vestige, and that's where we'll end tonight's session.